Hi, it's Miss Hamill here. The lecture today is on the reasons for food product development, and it does follow on from the lecture on the types of food product development. So having a look at the syllabus here, we can see that there is a lot of content under this section, reasons for food product development. The first thing to note is that in the syllabus, the term driver is interchangeable with the term reason, so they mean the same thing. So a reason is something that is driving the development of a new food product, hence why the syllabus says that they are also known as drivers. Now we need to be very specific with these reasons for food product development, and we need to be able to remember the syllabus and the examples that fall under each of the categories. So we have market concerns, consumer demands, societal changes, technological developments, as well as company profitability. However, within each of these categories or reasons, there are further examples which you need to be able to recall in an exam. So market concerns for health, dietary considerations and the environment, consumer demands for convenience foods and costs, so CC, societal changes including increasing ageing population, single person households and longer working hours. This does link to dual career families. Technological developments, which can include but not exclusive to processing equipment and packaging materials. Here you can also link to novel ingredients. And finally, company profitability. And this relates to increasing market share. Now this example is relevant to all food products because a company would not develop a new food product if it didn't want to be profitable from developing it. Now, before we go into the drivers in more detail, we're going to look at trends and market segments. So to start with, we're going to go through what a trend is. So the definition is here in the first sentence. So a trend is a general direction or the general direction in which something is developing or changing. A good food manufacturer recognizes and understands trends in current society, and they then apply them to the process of developing and marketing new food products. There are many different trends that come and go. And at the moment, we've seen a lot of trends in terms of fermented foods, gluten-free foods, convenience foods, so foods that can be eaten on the go, as well as foods that have more natural ingredients. There are also dietary considerations, so foods that can address health concerns like cardiovascular disease, so cholesterol-lowering foods, as well as trends in diet, so keto foods or low-carbohydrate foods. Now, current trends link to these dot points as well. So Australia has an ageing population, Australians are living longer, and therefore food products need to be developed and are being developed to meet the needs of people who are in this elderly age bracket of the stages of the life cycle. So for example, high fibre foods, as well as low salt, low sugar, as well as single serves for the elderly who are living alone. Australians are eating outside the home more and more, so convenience foods, foods that are eaten on the go, as well as foods that have this or align with the cafe culture that we see in Sydney. Australians are consuming more home delivered meals, so pizza as well as Uber Eats, Menulog, etc. People are becoming more aware of health and diet related issues, so this has led to the development of those gluten-free products, as well as fermented foods like kombucha. Consumers are more environmentally aware, particularly with the effects of global warming. This has become quite prominent in the last couple of years. So having packaging that is biodegradable and sustainable is a big selling point for companies, and they need to integrate biodegradable packaging in their new food products to meet consumer needs. Further to this, we live in a multicultural society. So having ethnic foods available and cultural foods, as well as foods that link to people's religious beliefs, so halal and kosher foods. The next point links to people having busier lifestyles and less time, and therefore people don't have time or even energy or even the skills to prepare foods from scratch. So having simmer sauces, like Canton or Legos, recipe bases, or even frozen meals or microwavable products. They help to meet people's needs in terms of having less time to prepare food. The next point is the fact that, the next point, Australians becoming more adventurous with their foods, mainly relates to the fact that we've seen an increase in cooking shows on television. So cooking shows like My Kitchen Rules, MasterChef, etc. On these shows we can see the integration of novel ingredients and different cultures, fusion foods, etc. So people, when they watch these programs, they're exposed to different ingredients and they're more adventurous in their cooking and also in the foods that they're willing to try. Finally, households are becoming smaller. So the Australian Bureau of Statistics of 2016 indicated that the average household had 4 people, so 2 adults and 2 children. However, it also indicated that more people are living alone. Therefore, the serving sizes of our food products reflect these trends. So a family size in today's society would be for 4 people, but if you were to look back at the 1950s, it would probably be for 6 people. Further to this, more people are living by themselves, not only the elderly, but young singles. So therefore, single serves are important to meet the needs of these people. For example, a Chobani, squeezable yogurt pouch, or even the Obella hummus and crackers product that is served for one person to have on the go. Now that we've had a look at market trends, we're going to look at market segments. And this really links to the target market at which a product is developed for. The target market needs to be kept in mind from the beginning of the food development process, because they are ultimately the purchaser of the product and they will be generating the profit. So meeting the needs of the target market is crucial for the success of a product. So categorising Australian consumers into different groups by category, including age, economic status and cultural tradition, is the definition for a market segment. Food manufacturers aim to develop products that are targeted at particular groups of people, and in order to do this successfully, they must understand the products desired by consumers of different age groups. So knowing the customers and the consumers and what their needs are and what their preferences are will lead to the development of a successful product that is profitable for a food manufacturing company. So we can see on the table here, table 14.2, that there are a number of different market segments that are based on age, and we can see appropriate foods for these market segments. So these are the factors that must be considered when developing a new food product for each of the market segments. So for babies, they require small serves and soft foods. Children require play foods and interesting snacks. Adolescents require social foods, so food they can eat while socialising or on the go, as well as snacks and convenience foods for when they are going to school or university, etc. Adolescents, again, due to busy lifestyles, they require convenience foods, foods that require very minimal preparation and cooking and can be eaten on the go. Health foods, particularly for young adults who tend to be more health conscious, as well as new food concepts, because they do have more disposable income to spend on innovative or new foods that are released to the marketplace, like those new to world products. Finally, the elderly require quite nutritious foods, particularly foods that are high in calcium, as well as foods that are high in fibre, as well as foods that are quite easy to prepare. In addition, foods that are easy to chew, swallow and digest. So we can see a range of food products on the right-hand side. The first product again, or firstly, would be suitable for the market segment of babies. The Special K Moments indulgent snack bites with 70 calories per serve would most likely be targeted at adults, young adults, particularly females, due to the nature of the packaging that we can see. It's quite feminine. And Chobani, this is a single serve. This would be suitable for multiple market segments due to the fact that it is high in calcium and it is quite a healthy food, but it's also convenient. So adolescents, adults and elderly would all be suitable market segments for this particular product. Now on your lecture slides, there are a few activities that I would like you to complete. Firstly, you're going to look at the special need and then the market segment, and develop a food solution by referring to a food that is already on the marketplace to meet the needs of the two columns on the left. The first example we can see, the special need is weight reduction and the market segment is obese people. So the food solution would be having a low fat or a light food. The second example, the special need is caffeine free, so not having foods that are high in caffeine. The market segment is health aware people. Therefore, the food solution links to decaffeinated coffee as well as caffeine-free drinks. So spend some time now going through the special need and the market segment and writing the food solution in the final column of the table. And this does go over the next slide as well. Now that you've finished doing that activity, have a look at the answers that have been provided in the table. So you can pause the video to check your answers. And the next slide, you can pause this slide as well to look at the answers that are suggested for each of those special needs and market segments. Okay, let's get right into the reasons for or the drivers of food product development. So from the syllabus, we can see that the first 5 examples are directly stated in the syllabus, but we've added one more that you should know because it does come up in HSC Food Technology exams quite often. So the first one, market concerns. Second, consumer demands. Third, technological developments. Fourth, company profitability. Fifth, societal changes. And the last one, sixth, is specialized applications. So having a look at the first letter of each of those reasons, we've developed an acronym to assist you. So my cat Tom can sing songs. This is the acronym that you are going to remember, or the mnemonic, to help you remember the reasons or the drivers for food product development. So we have market concerns, consumer demands, technological developments, company profitability, societal changes, and specialized applications. Okay, we're going to start by looking at the first driver, which is market concerns. Now, there are 2 key drivers, or 2 main market concerns that drive food product development that relate to what the market or what consumers on the market are concerned mostly about. Their 2 main concerns are health and environment. The syllabus also states dietary considerations. However, you can link this into your description when you are talking about the market concerns for health. So food manufacturers are continuously developing healthier food products to meet the needs of consumers who are concerned about their health or those who do have special dietary considerations. So somebody who is health conscious might not necessarily have a diet-related disorder, but somebody who has a dietary consideration might have an allergy, an intolerance, or they might be diagnosed with a disease of over or undernutrition, such as anemia, osteoporosis, diabetes type 2, or cardiovascular disease. Food manufacturers in particular develop functional foods, which are designed to promote various aspects of consumer health. Now, we will go into functional foods when we look at contemporary nutrition issues, which is topic 4 of the HSC. However, you need to be aware that functional foods are simply foods in a category of foods that surpass the basic nutrients found in foods typical of that category. So they have added health benefits. The best example that I can give you is bread. High fiber bread, so going back to that slide, high fiber bread is made with high maize, which is a corn-based product that has soluble fiber. It's added to white bread and it increases the fiber content of the white bread without modifying the sensory properties. So without adding the husks, the grains, etc. from whole grain products, high fiber bread is a good example. Now, why is this a functional food? It does have nutrients that surpass the basic nutrients found in regular bread. This example specifically, the fiber content surpasses the normal amount of fiber that's found in regular bread. Therefore, it is classified as a functional food. So further to this, there are a range of other functional foods. You can see here the first example that I've spoken about. So Wonder White high fiber bread. The second example, Yakult. So this was developed in Japan. It was a new to world product and it has probiotic benefits. The third example is simply a muesli bar, but we can see here that it has been fortified with additional protein and there's 10 grams of protein per serve. Therefore, this is a functional food because it has more protein than a regular muesli bar in the same product category. And finally, this example of orange juice, it has been fortified with calcium and vitamin D. Therefore, it is also a functional food because it has more nutrition than regular orange juice. Further to this, we can look at dietary considerations. So I've mentioned that individuals that have various allergies and food sensitivities need to avoid certain foods or ingredients in their diet. For example, somebody who is allergic to peanuts, somebody who cannot digest gluten and has celiac disease, or even somebody who is sensitive to dairy, so they might have a lactose intolerance. Now, we will go through this in more depth in topic 4 for nutrition, but for the purpose of food product development, it's important to understand that there are food products that are released to meet the needs of people that have dietary considerations. If we have a look here, there's a good example, Up and Go, which is gluten-free, has been specifically designed for people who are A, either concerned about how much gluten they're having, just for their general health and well-being, or B, cannot physically digest gluten due to celiac disease. So these products are quite prominent on the marketplace. Now, a consumer with a dietary consideration who feels understood by a manufacturer will likely be a loyal customer. So it's important for businesses and food manufacturers to develop products that are relating to assisting people with dietary considerations because it will likely increase their sales and generate more profit for the business. Another example here is a plant-based mince. So we have seen a big increase in plant-based products and people turning away from meat and having more of a vegetarian diet. So this is mainly linked to the dietary considerations linked to consuming too much meat, the negative effects it might have on somebody's health. So having plant-based products available on the marketplace is a big opportunity for different companies and businesses. So this is one example, but there are several that are available on the marketplace. These mainly come from soy derivatives and bean products and legumes. The final market concern is environment. Now, manufacturers are changing packaging types to ensure that they are responding to consumer concerns about the environment, mainly pollution, landfill, and global warming, and the effects that producing packaging like plastic can have on the ozone layer, leading to ozone depletion. So biodegradable packaging is one of the biggest examples of how manufacturers are responding to this need, and Plantic Technologies have as we know, a cornstarch-based plastic packaging that dissolves in water, and we know that Cadbury Schweppes were the first company to kind of pioneer using that with their milk tray product, but Hague also used that product as well. Biopack is another example that produce sustainable packaging that can be recycled easily and is used from recycled materials. So having a look at these examples here, we can see dairy milk. They've reduced the amount of packaging on their products. So in the 1990s, Cadbury blocks of chocolate had 2 layers of packaging, so the alfoil and then the cardboard. Nowadays it just has 1 layer, so this does reduce the amount of packaging used and thus the landfill that is generated from the packaging. Coca-Cola is using recycled plastic in their PET bottles, and their plastic bottles are labelled with how to recycle them. This also links to the Return and Earn program that does promote recycling. And finally, another example is the Odd Bunch. So this is an initiative developed by Woolworths, and it is focused on reducing food waste, which is quite a big issue in Australia. The average household wastes almost $2,000 a year in food. And by developing the Odd Bunch, it sells imperfect picks or imperfect produce. So you can see in the image here that the vegetables, although they do not look consistent with our sensory expectations of vegetables in terms of colour, size, texture, etc., they are still good, they still have the same nutritional properties, the same flavour, etc., and therefore Woolies are selling them to customers at a reduced price to make sure that they're doing their bit in reducing food waste. So there's a few examples here that you can use to rely upon for exams and also for your study notes. The next driver for food product development links to CAT in the acronym My Cat Tom Can Sing Songs. So this is consumer demands. Now there are two main consumer demands. It's easy to remember this because they all start with the letter C. So consumer demands are cost and convenience. Now most people want convenient foods at a low price. The majority of consumers spend no more than 30 minutes cooking dinner each night. So we can see that having convenient foods is very important, particularly in today's society, due to the fact that there are dual career families where both parents are working. Therefore, people don't have time to prepare foods, and it has led to the development of convenience foods. So a really good example here is the Coles pre-made salad. And this is eaten on the go because the sachets of the dressing, the noodles come within the packaging, as well as a fork, and it is only $5. So it is a convenient food at a low price. The second example is the rice and Thai green curry convenience food produced by the company John West. So again, you just need to microwave the rice and the curry, and in a minute you have a meal. The third area, or the third driver, relates to T, so My Cat Tom, and this is technological developments. So advances in technology are one of the main drivers for food product development, particularly new-to-world products. Technological developments include a number of different areas. Novel ingredients, so novel meaning new. Advances in processing equipment and methods, for example, extrusion technologies or freeze drying. Biodegradable or recyclable packaging, and also active packaging. Technological developments present food manufacturers with a range of new food product opportunities, as well as greater efficiency, so saving time, economic advantages, and products of greater appeal and acceptability to consumers. Novel ingredients, we're going to go through this one in a lot of detail. So novel ingredients relates to new ingredients that have been developed through research and development. So organisations like the CSIRO are constantly conducting research on specific food ingredients that can be added to foods for a range of different purposes. Now, using fat and sugar replacements like stevia or olestra, fibre supplements, for example, high maize, as well as indigenous or bush foods like kangaroo, emu or crocodile, all relate to novel ingredients. Now for SANZ, so Food Standards Australia New Zealand must approve novel ingredients before they are used in commercial food production because they might have negative effects on somebody's health or well-being. Now a good example of this is olestra. Now olestra is an additive that is approved in the USA but not in Australia. It is commonly used in fat-free products like light chips. However, research has shown that it does have negative effects on somebody's health. So olestra is a fat substitute that adds no calories to products. It's used in high-fat foods like potato chips, and therefore it lowers or eliminates the fat content, making them appear to be healthier on a food label. However, olestra has been shown to cause side effects in the form of gastrointestinal problems as well as weight gain, instead of weight loss on lab rats. In the UK and Canada, these two places have banned the fat substitute, and Australia has also banned it. We can see here there is a warning statement on a product that contains olestra, saying that olestra may cause abdominal cramping and loose stools. It inhibits the absorption of some vitamins and other nutrients, and vitamins A, D, E and K have been added. In terms of advances in processing equipment and technology, extrusion is a good example. So Mars Pods, which was a new-to-world product, was developed due to this innovation of extrusion, as well as UHT, which is ultra heat treatment. Nowadays, a more relevant example might be freeze drying or irradiation, which we spoke about in our last lesson. So again, FSANZ must approve these advances prior to their use in commercial food production. Other technological developments you might refer to are high pressure processing technologies. So this is cold pressing. So we did speak about the fact that by placing a food in a vacuum, the pressure within the vacuum kills the microorganisms, making the food safe. It alleviates the need for using heat. However, it keeps the nutrient profile intact. So the B group and C vitamins, which are typically water soluble and are removed from foods when heat is applied, are maintained, and a cold pressed juice would be much healthier than a regular UHT juice. So irradiation is used in more than 50 countries to destroy bacteria and pests, as well as extend the shelf life of food. It is an alternative to chemical and heat treatments. This video is really useful, and it will be posted on the Google Classroom for you to refer to. It goes for about 5 minutes, and it does explain this process of irradiation. Another technological development is new packaging technology. So this has enabled faster, more consistent packaging products, as well as products that have greater efficiency, so they can be used quickly by consumers, improve shelf life, so staying fresh for a longer period of time when stored correctly, greater appeal, as well as more convenience for consumers with a reduced environmental impact. Furthermore, new home appliances have also led to new products being released. So products like a slow cooker, or even a Thermomix, or even simply a microwave, have led to the development of different food products. So slow cooker sauce sachets have been released. Bread makers have led to the development of bread mixers. Microwavable products have been produced due to the innovation of the home appliance of the microwave. The fourth driver is company profitability. Now, food product development is fundamentally about making money for a business. A profit margin refers to the amount that is left once a company has deducted the costs from income generated by selling a product. For new products to be profitable, companies must produce better products faster than their competitors. We can see here an example of a comparison of confectionery companies and snack food brands. Now, Mondelez has the majority of the market share, and they produce a range of brands. Nestle comes in second, then Mars, Ferrero, Amul, and then others. So company profitability is increased when market share is high. So the more products that a company has on the marketplace, generally the more market share that they will have, and then the increased company profitability that will result. Societal changes is the next driver or reason for food product development. Now, society is changing all the time. However, we need to look at current trends. So referring back to the Australian Bureau of Statistics 2016 census data will help with your understanding of what is happening in the world around us in Australia. So I'm going to go through each of these points. So the first one, women are entering the workforce. This means men are taking a more active role in food preparation. Television programs on home cooking are increasing. This has led to more varied ingredients, recipe books, and cooking utensils. Australians are living longer. Typically, the life expectancy of a female is 84 years in Australia, and for men it's 79 years. So since Australians are living longer, the development of food products that are easy to open, for example, a ring pull can, and easy to chew and swallow, as well as foods that are high in fibre and calcium, are beneficial for this particular market segment. More people are living alone. This has led to the development of single-serve meals, as well as heat and eat options such as frozen meals or microwavable meals. Changing working hours, for example, 24/7 trading, has led to a range of working conditions, for example, job sharing, part-time work, and more flexible working hours, so working night shift, etc. This means that meal replacement solutions are quite significant and important for these people in society. Finally, our Multicultural Society, the Australian Bureau of Statistics indicated that 24% of Australians were not born in Australia, so they migrated from an overseas country. We are a very multicultural society, and therefore we have a lot of cultural foods available, as well as foods that have special attributes like halal, kosher and vegan foods. So vegetarian foods do also link to different religions, for example, Hinduism or Buddhism. The final letter of the acronym is S, so we're looking now at specialized applications. So a specialized application is a special condition or scenario that requires a specific food product. For example, army foods require Defence Force ration packs. These foods also need to be quite lightweight so that they can easily be transported, and they need to be non-perishable because they will not be stored in a refrigerator in cold storage. So they need to be shelf stable. Camping supplies. Space foods is another specialized application. So this mainly relates to freeze-dried foods that have a low moisture content, a low water content. Freeze-dried foods typically are between 5 and 6% moisture. Airline foods, so this links to sous vide, which is one of the current developments we studied in food manufacture. And finally, medical foods. So these are linked to functional or fortified foods like protein supplements, etc. Just quickly, we're going to have a look at this HSC question from 2016. So it is a multiple choice question. A muffin making chain produces a low GI muffin. So GI is glycemic index. Something that is low GI gives the slow release of energy, and it gives sustained energy throughout the day. It is suitable for people who have diabetes type 2. So what driver or reason of food product development is the company most likely responding to? The first one, technological developments. Yes, this could be correct. Let's look at the next answer. Consumer demands for convenience. Yes, this could be correct. Increase in single parent households. No, that's unrelated. And finally, market concerns such as dietary considerations. Yes, that is also correct. So having a look here, we need to determine what the best answer is. Now, the syllabus says specifically, market concerns for dietary considerations is a driver for food product development. So we can say that that is the best answer, and it does link to the fact that the muffin is low GI, which would help people who have diabetes type 2.